Thanks very much, Julie. I'm joined by Michael Berman. He's the chairman-elect of the Mortgage Bankers Association. Also, in his day job, he's the president and CEO of CW Capital in Massachusetts. Thank you for the time. Appreciate it very much. What do you make of what took place here today? Did we make progress in trying to solve and create the mortgage finance system of the future?
I think we did. There was a very rich discussion. It encompassed a broad array of views, and it was a very substantive discussion. It wasn't just flowery and puffery. I mean, people really got into the issues, good debate, and it was really quite productive.
And you and I were talking earlier. You felt that there was at least some framework for a consensus here. What do you think that framework is?
I do think there was a framework, and as I mentioned, the MBA worked on this for about a year, came out with a proposal a year ago, having targeted an explicit government guarantee on a very narrow class of securities, and with taxpayer protections built into that. And that was something that really had a lot of traction here. I would not say it was a unanimous consent, but clearly a lot of traction behind that limited government guarantee with taxpayer protections.
A limited government guarantee, and as you said, there were a lot of people who talked about this. The question is, the devil's in the details. Where do you draw that fine line where the government is involved and all of a sudden the government's not involved? The private capital is expected to step in, which right now it's not doing.
Clearly, the whole concept here that MBA and others are in favor of is bringing private capital back in. Private capital that takes interest rate risk and private capital that will take the credit risk so that we avoid the moral hazard that we've had in the past. And bringing that private capital back into the market is going to take some time, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a long transition.
Bill Gross raised some eyebrows. Initially, he was one of the first speakers today. He said full nationalization, roll Fannie and Freddie into the government. Let's make this firm break right now. What do you make of that? Obviously, you don't support that idea, but it certainly raised a few eyebrows.
Right. I think that at either of the extremes, either a full nationalization or a full privatization, we're not in the mainstream, let's say. There certainly is an important place for FHA, for a fully nationalized part of the market, for affordable housing, and to be there as a safety net under the market. And in fact, there was tremendous consensus about the need for FHA. But again, that's not the main part of the market. The main part of the market needs to be with capital coming in from the private sector, taking that risk. And then again, having an explicit but limited government guarantee to encourage other private capital to come in to take the interest rate risk and buy the bonds. The government guarantee would be to wrap the mortgage-backed securities.
So you leave here somewhat more optimistic, perhaps, about what this administration may be doing in terms of ideas, at least listening. You know the real fight's up in Capitol Hill, and this is going to take place next year. What is the realistic outcome right here that Democrats, Republicans can agree on a solution here in a timely fashion that satisfies the markets?
Well, as you know, Barney Frank is going to have some hearings coming up. The midterm elections are going to have a lot to do with how we reach consensus. But I'm confident the Obama administration is going to come out with a proposal as mandated by January. And it's such an important issue for the public that I think that both Republicans and Democrats will rally to come up with a solution that works and that makes sense. And again, that gets the government out of the business of controlling 90% of the market, but having a limited and important ongoing role to have sustainable liquidity.
Michael Berman, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us here. Busy day at the Treasury Department. One of many participants in this summit on the future of housing finance. Julie, we'll send it back to you.